Greetings, my viewers online. Penser here once again with another video about drawing advice, and this time I'm going to talk about my approach for inking a page of comics in particular. And I'm going to try to offer my best advice related to that. So a lot of times what I'll do is wherever a shadow gets casted, which in this case is this guy's and this other guy's, I guess it's his left or whatever, that doesn't matter, but you hopefully get the point. So I'll put slightly more of a line weight on where there's going to be shadow and a slightly lighter line weight like so where there's going to be light. Okay, so here since I'm expecting some shading, I'll put a heavy-ish line weight here, but then it'll lighten up again right around wherever the light hits. So that would be his index finger. When it comes to his spear, again, the light source is coming from here, so just a little bit of a heavy-ish line weight would go on the bottom of his spear right here, but then again a little bit of a lighter one will go on the top of his spear or other side of his spear. And for this I'll pretty often use a ruler, like just it doesn't really matter what kind of a ruler. And yeah, I almost used the wrong tool and did a too big of a line weight, but here, so I'll just go over this really lightly, because if you look at objects in real life and you look at the part where the light hits, even though you can make the argument that there's no contour line being or no contour being done, period. But if you look at the part where the light hits, there is hardly any form a lot of times. So you could just, a classic example that's been used throughout times to communicate this point is if you study just simple geometrical shapes like your spheres. I don't know how to pronounce that really, but that ball-shaped three-dimensional object, and cylinders, cubes, pyramids, things like that, you will see that the part where the light hits is actually not that defined. So yeah, if you want to go on your favorite search engine and just look at geometric shapes drawing, and you will see what hopefully a good example of my point here. So yeah, yet again, the side of his body will have a shadow later on, and then this part of his armor will once again have a little light on it, followed by some shadow. And
for the sake of hopefully not boring y'all a whole lot, I'm gonna hopefully figure out during the editing process how to speed this up a little bit. So we'll do that right now. I will be right back with my speech.
Okay, I'm back. So what I will do with the inking, even though there's gonna be bold blacks, a lot, meaning that the most of the shading is gonna quite literally be black or at least a very dark shade of gray. I will still start with a technique called hatching, which is basically a bunch of lines to suggest that a surface is shaded, and you can also go across those lines. That's called cross hatching, to kind of darken it slowly but surely. So cross hatching is my go-to style for shading, but for this one, since I want to create a strong focal point for the first panel of this whole page, that we will go about by doing some bold blacks. So starting with his arm, I'm gonna tilt this tool a little bit so that it's kind of perpendicular to the page, and just you want to flick your wrist really quickly and confidently across the page like so. And yeah, try not to get frustrated if no ink comes out during every single stroke, because that's pretty normal when you're starting off with the dip pen. That would often get me frustrated around the very first times I started, but then I was sat down by somebody who showed me a good way to use it, and one good way is to have the nib, meaning this part right that you're seeing right here, perpendicular, meaning at a sort of 90-degree angle to the surface, that substrate that you're using. So I'll just go over this again. The light source is coming from here, so you want to basically imagine which areas are going to be casted in the shadow. So I know that his body is kind of rounding away from us, so that's gonna cast the shadow right around here. And I ran into some slight technical issues with my memory card in my camera while I was recording, and despite my efforts to delete a bunch of files on the memory card, it still did not start working again. Instead of just dealing with that immediately, I just thought to myself, like, the hell with it. I just want to keep on going with this, not let it affect the workflow too much. So yeah, what I guess I should have said in the section where I talked about the tools is something that often in the comics community is referred to as ink wash. So you basically dilute the ink in a separate container, and that'll make a nice warm gray area, as you can see in this illustration of mine. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool and worthwhile. And then every once in a while, once you feel like it again, you can kind of switch over to the bold black again, like so, and make sure you get some hatch lines that you can also do with the brush, actually, as long as you hold it at a certain angle, like so. And yeah, this can also use to intend to make a kind of shiny metallic effect, like when you're drawing medieval armor, as is depicted in this scene that's supposed to be a battle between the Guelphs and the Ghibellines, which was two opposing political parties in Florence in medieval times. Anyway, this is not supposed to be so much of a history lesson, at least not this time around. Yeah, I just wanted to show y'all mainly a little bit of more progress before I start wrapping this up.
So, in fact, maybe this will probably be a part where I'll just kick it into fast motion and just finish it off real quick.
Have it with the progress so far. As you can see, I still have plenty of more inking to do, but the rest of it is maybe something I'll post on at least either here or my Instagram page. By the way, if you want to see more of my work, I have a online portfolio on my website, and I also have an Instagram handle where I post mainly some work in progress. I'll link both of those things in the little info box below. And with that, I'll be signing off. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to y'all more in the next video.